Hi, I'm Michael Rowland. Welcome back to 1 minus 1 on the ABC. 1 minus 1 rebooted, you might say, in the revised format. Given that with the first program we had one or two hiccups. In this second program we've decided for myself to revert back in style to my old days of investigative journalism. Now, to quickly give ABC viewers a timeline referencing this second 1 minus 1 filming, I had only just got back when commencing filming this today from my trip to the UK, where myself and Lisa Miller, also of the ABC, very ably covered the memorial services for the royal monarch, the late Queen Elizabeth II. Now, my idea, and that's why I'm all dressed in black, of course, is because I've just got off the plane coming back. My idea of a comfortable trip back was to dress in jeans and a polo shirt. Be much more comfortable on the plane. But when I mentioned this to Ida, I received a very sharp and stern rebuke, and she said to me, "Michael, this is the ABC. We do not jeans and polo shirt here. I want you to be dressed in a black suit." So that left me pondering a bit. Had it have been, say, my colleague from News Breakfast, the sports presenter Mr. Tony Armstrong, posing the same question to Ida, would have Tony got the same response? I think I can talk for everybody, certainly on News Breakfast, but also in the whole of the ABC, is that everyone has been both delighted and proud to see the gains that Tony Armstrong has made, the achievement he's made in carving out this high profile and high degree of popularity for himself as a relative newcomer on television, having of course won the Graham Kennedy Logie for the best new talent on Australian TV. Now, I just will add a qualification to that. Look, it's okay for a national broadcaster to have an ace flyboy, a Top Gun Maverick style person, a highway to the danger zone rider, a rambling man, but somebody has to be at the network to do the hard work, to maintain the integrity of the broadcaster. Somebody has to do the hard yards, the heavy lifting, the shoulder to the grindstone stuff. And that's partly why my producer, veteran producer of course, Justin Time, and myself settled on the important investigative journalism for the revised format of 1 minus 1, which we are doing today. Speaking of that, let's get right into it. Now, I feel very excited today to be filming this second program of 1 minus 1. I feel as excited as the character King Tut in the Batman and Robin famous television series. On the day when King Tut, he actually found himself right inside. He discovered the Batcave, and he was inside the Batcave, and then, much to his delight, he discovered that the Batcave was located right beneath the Bruce Wayne Manor. And of course, that was the penny drop for him, that which he'd thought for some time, is that what the Bruce Wayne and Batman were the same person, of course. And Dick Grayson, Bruce Wayne's ward, of course, was the boy wonder Robin. And why I'm so excited today is because I am fairly certain I have found an entrance to Hugh Screwer's highly secretive Elite Adsom Training Academy, known as Top Screw. I believe the entrance to the very ordinary looking garden shed, which is the garden shed over there. It doesn't even appear to have a lock on it, but we'll see when I get closer to it. And we might just go over and we'll just show the viewers what a closer look at that garden shed. And as you can see, it's a very innocuous, very ordinary looking garden shed. Now pardon me just one moment, I just remembered something about being mad if you're out in the midday sun, which we are sort of getting close to the midday sun, so I might just sun protect up a bit because we're spending a few minutes out here. I'll just put that hat on. Okay, good to go again, Justin. Yes, so in Hugh Screwer's biography, which of course I presented to you on the first program of 1-1, of course it's called Way of the Adsom. Hugh talks about some of the facilities inside Top Screw. And he describes how inside there's actually a three-dimensional pyramidal training aid of the Kilson kick-down kiss-up pyramid, which Hugh Screwer is famed for using as his teacher's aids. Now, you might ask, what has led me to believe that this over here, this ordinary innocuous garden shed, is an entrance into the Elite Training Academy called Top Screw? Well, let me just show you. I'll show you the two-dimensional representation of the Kilson kick-down kiss-up pyramid. Now, Hugh Screwer, when he came on and was interviewed by me on the first 1-1 program, he brought this with him into the green room, and he was about to walk out into the interview with me with it in hand, and my producer, just in time, very quickly said to him, "Look, Hugh Screwer, you're not going on to give a lesson, you're going on to be interviewed by one of the top news presenters and reporters in the country." So he said, "Quickly, leave it here." So Hugh Screwer left it there, and then after our interview he walked out of the studio and forgot to retrieve it. So he left it there. Now, in the back of this training aid, in a hidden sleeve, I found several training aid notes that Hugh Screwer had written out, and also a layout of facilities and also plans for new facilities at his Elite Training Academy known as Top Screw. Now I'll just put that away. Now from these notes I was able to glean certain clues and indicators as to the location of Top Screw. Yes, and it also fits in with other things I've read in his book, how Hugh Screwer talks about protecting valuable assets, and he talks about using concealment and diversion as opposed to structure and force. So his idea is if something doesn't attract anybody's attention, then it's less likely that anyone will try and break into, steal or tamper with that asset. It's a different concept. So that's why I believe having a very innocuous, ordinary looking garden shed as an entrance into Top Screw is in keeping with certain ethos principles of Hugh Screwer, which he outlines in his book. I did have time to read some of Hugh's book on the way back from London. It was a long flight, and I discovered that he is a big fan of the 1960s TV series The Munsters. Obviously I was not around in the 1960s, but I became an avid watcher of the series a few years ago, having discovered it online. I wish I had some collector's cards to show you, but I haven't been able to obtain any collector's cards, but I did make some printouts of the characters on of the Munsters to just show you, which were favourites of mine. That's Herman Munster, of course, who's the father in the family. That's, let me show you, that's Herman Munster, you got him. That's Lily Munster, that's Herman's wife. Lily. That's Grandpa, of course, and he's Lily Munster's father. And that's Marilyn, that's Herman and Lily's niece. And finally, last but not least, of course, is Eddie Munster. He's the son of Lily Munster and Herman Munster. And despite Eddie, of course, being a child, he's not in as many scenes as, say, Herman and Lily, of course. He's become my favourite character. There's not... yeah, sometimes I just put those back so they don't distract. Yes, you know, there's something... Just getting back to Eddie. There he is there again. There's something about Eddie that I really like that character. I really like that kid. Something about, sometimes I'd scratch my head why he's my favourite character, but I just can't put my finger right on it. But it's a great show, and it's a comedy, of course, so a family comedy, so I recommend going online and watching it when you get a chance. So yeah, also very interesting in the book too is, of course, how in Hugh Screwer's book, Way of the Adsom, how Hugh writes also about how many of his Adsom trainees are tall and gangling, you know, have a gangling sort of gait. And look, I would own up and put myself into that category as being a bit tall and gangling. And he says a lot of them have when they come along to be trained by him, and of course he's very big on everybody developing in his training sessions their own effective signature walk. And he says to these tall and gangling chaps, he actually gets them to watch the old video footage of Herman Munster moving about in the Munsters program. He has his signature walk. It's quite slow, but I'll probably demonstrate a bit more later, but yeah, it's very much like that. And when he's stationary or he's turning around, he does a lot of hand waving like that, you know, just like that. But yeah, he has a very interesting signature walk, Herman Munster. Yeah, and that's how Hugh Screwer got over the difficulty of some of his trainees not being able to quickly develop a signature walk. So actually on the plane coming back from London, I was actually practicing. I was watching on my tablet some videos of the Munsters and practicing doing a Herman Munster type signature walk up and down the gangway in the plane. And I was thinking to myself back then, quite happy to have, you know, to be the you know, the hard yard sort of reporter that I am, sort of thing, and I don't have a profile, you know, as popular as Tony Armstrong, because of course nobody on the plane was able to recognise me. I didn't get anybody, you know, coming up to me asking for autographs or saying, you know, I love your show and all that sort of stuff. Of course, the one person on the plane who did know me, of course, was Lisa Miller. And Lisa knows me, of course. We sort of work together 5 days a week. And of course, Lisa was just, she was just pretending not to know me. So, Lisa, if you're watching, I haven't forgotten that. Speaking of Tony's popularity, actually I just read while I was away an interesting survey how 90% of the ABC viewers, if Tony Armstrong was to turn up at their residence or their business, yeah, so they did this survey of ABC viewers, and they asked them if Tony Armstrong turned up at your residence or business unannounced, he didn't have an appointment, he didn't actually tell you the exact reason he'd come there, he just turned up, that 90% of ABC viewers would allow Tony Armstrong into their residence or business. So such as Tony's popularity. On the other end of the scale, so to speak, they did ask the same question of ABC viewers regarding Michael Rowland, and of course the percentage who would let myself, Michael Rowland, into their residence or business unannounced and not stating my reason for being there was very low in comparison to the 90% that would let in Tony. And I do thank all of my family members who supported me in that survey. I'd just like to categorically state to all the ABC viewers that with Tony Armstrong, turning up unannounced, that I would never let Tony Armstrong in through my front door in my pajamas. Never, ever. I would never let Tony Armstrong in through my front door in my pajamas. And just before, all the howls of protest and everybody gets on the keyboard and starts making comments to Facebook and Twitter, and saying things like, get over yourself, Michael. Michael, you're a big bollocks. You're a great big gobshite, Michael. Of course, a lot of people read the Roddy Doyle of novels before they start getting on the keyboard. I'd just like to tell you that the reason I would not let Tony Armstrong in through my front door in my pajamas. And okay, I hear you saying why? Well, because I don't have a front door in my pajamas. Speaking of which, it's now time to take that step and venture into the entrance of Top Screw. I could be facing danger at every turn and every second while I'm in there, and of course loving it. Well, there could be a camera on us now, so a hidden camera there, so I might actually make I might announce myself. It's Michael Rowland here from the ABC, about to come in and meet with Hugh Screwer in the Top Screw. So actually I was thinking of camera, but thinking of making use of Tony Armstrong's popularity too. Tony Armstrong, yeah, and that survey that most people would actually let Tony Armstrong straight in their business. So the Tony Armstrong style moustache, never leave home without one. So I might just announce myself again. Hi, it's Michael Rowland from the ABC, and Tony Armstrong here from the ABC, about to come in and meet Hugh Screwer inside Top Screw. That's just another little bit of a joke. So Hugh Screwer always says, if you're gonna walk into danger, he says you might as well signature walk into it. So that's what I'll do. Hugh writes in his book how it says, even if it doesn't help you at all, at least it will look magnificent. So let's do it. Doing my Herman Munster signature walk. So there we have it. Hugh Screwer. It's a shrewd cat. He obviously had a very unsophisticated yet very effective booby trap set up in the branches of the tree which are overhanging that entrance, or what I believe to be the entrance to Top Screw. So anyway, that hinders our further filming for today. I've may have a mild concussion. Obviously the booby trap was set up with the 2 pillows with a couple of metal weights sewn inside and intended to injure but not to maim or to do worse. So that's going to put Justin and myself back in conference with Ida to see where we go from now, see if Ida will agree to extending the budget to include a security specialist to accompany us on this endeavour to film inside Top Screw. I was very lucky that Dr. Happy Vax was just in the area. He was actually sorting out some vaccinating some people who are either anti-vaccine or vaccine hesitant, whatever. He was there. We would have got Dr. Happy Vax to just hang around for a while and have a few words for the camera. We could have given a quick interview of Happy Vax, and but he was accompanied by legendary youth worker and old guitar dude Dr. Tim Tom, and they had to urgently go out to a town in one of the regions where there was a group of teenage girls who they've not only gone down the anti-vax rabbit hole, so to speak, but they also believe that they're vampires. I think that Dr. Tim Tom was right, and he said a while ago that this whole Twilight movie series thing is going to get out of hand. So anyway, Dr. Happy Vax has just advised me to hang around. He left some smelling salts for me and some of this tonic for me too, which I've been taking. He says just to be quiet for a while and just do something to take your mind off things. So I'm just going to do a bit of fishing and anyway, I'll do a bit of fishing and we'll be back with 1-1 and it's continued, or even another reboot. So thank you for watching. Oh. 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 Michael Rowland has been here. Pretty good investigating skills, Michael. And you've done very well. Obviously motivated by some anger towards me, as well as a nose for a good story. Imagine how angry Michael Rowland will be if he stars in a full second series of Barons. Imagine the anger that's going to come after that. It'll be make him so angry. Yep. Anyway, I do like it though when my plan is coming together. That's all. Hugh Screwer. See you later.